Welcome to Chaos Connections, the Not Safe for Work podcast removing the filters from the Instagram of parenting and daily life. We're three moms, Harley, Rain, and Raven, parenting our darling crotch fruit through various stages and phases while trying to maintain relationships, careers, a sense of humor, and our sense of self. Clearly not our waistlines. Join us through our triumphs, laugh at and commiserate with our struggles, marvel at how we function in our batshit crazy lives. Just be mindful of our motto, Irumabu circuitu et queramus, which is Latin for fuck around and find out.
Hello, hello. We are going to go over the lovely topic of parenting teenagers because, the angst and everything else is just glorious and magical. And
Yep, and our
what the
dogs
fuck were we thinking?
and our dogs like to chime in too. Just so that we are covering all of our bases, in case you are new here, this podcast is hosted by people with tattoos, piercings, colorful language, no filters, and we are fiercely protective of the vulnerable among us. Please make sure you want to be here, or you can FAFO, which loosely translated means fuck around and find out. This is, of course, your choice. All right. So, in case you are new here, I am Harley.
I am Rain.
Thank you. And
My God, the bubbliness is just real.
she did the bubbly because she, I think we caught her off guard because she was taking a drink. So if she unmuted, you could hear that. And I'm Raven.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotta work on that gag reflex, man.
Nope.
All right. So, parenting teens. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Interesting as in, oh god, we're all gonna die?
Some days.
Some days.
Or interesting as in
Some
the Chinese
minutes.
proverb, may you live in interesting times.
I don't want to live in any more interesting times.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
gone through
really
enough.
fucking sick of interesting times. Can we have some
I've gone
boring
through
times?
fucking enough.
Yeah,
Fuck this shit.
no, I'm quite good. I think I've lived through enough once in a lifetime moments that I'm good with just having a lifetime of lifetime moments at this point.
Right?
Okay, see, we need to be careful with that because Lifetime is
yeah,
either
for sure.
going to be the
Not
generic
Lifetime
Christmas
movie
thing,
channel, not Lifetime movie channel moments.
Okay, good.
or it's going to be true crime.
Not Lifetime movie moments. Okay, I just want even keel. That's what I'm
That's
looking
never
for.
gonna happen.
I
We
know.
have kids.
It's a lovely pipe dream, though.
It is definitely a pipe dream.
A girl can dream. BT dubs for our listeners. I am a little self-conscious about this, so I'm bringing it to your attention now so that the comments don't get filled with this bitch has a lisp. I am participating in some self-care that I have pushed off for many, many moon, and I am doing Invisalign because I've always been really self-conscious about my teeth. Unfortunately, Invisalign sometimes does cause you to have a little bit of a lisp, and I have been called
a little
out.
bit.
I have been called out. The funniest one by
Captain.
far was by Captain. He hadn't heard me with my Invisalign retainers in, and I came to visit, and
He thought something was wrong.
and I stopped in the smoke shack because he was out there, and we're talking, and he goes, "Why?" He stops. He goes, "Why are you talking different?" And I was like, "What?" He goes, "You're talking different. There's a sound." I was like, "Oh, I'm doing Invisalign. I have my retainers in." And I popped him out. And I was like, "There, is that better?" He goes, "Ah, yeah, it's the Invisalign. Okay, cool." And I popped him back in. Anyway, so yes, I do
that
have a
threw
little bit
him
of a
for a
lisp right
freaking
now.
loop, man. Oh my God. It was great.
I do have a little bit of a lisp right now, but awesome sauce. I am almost done. I have less than 3 months left on my treatment regimen. And if all goes well and my teeth shift accordingly, I will come out of the readjusting phase and go into the maintenance phase, which means I don't have to wear the retainers 23 hours of the day. I just have to wear them at night when I sleep. Anyway, parenting teens.
So,
Parenting teens, let me tell you, you know what? Dentistry.
oh
Because
God. Okay,
my
wait, pause,
Dentistry.
pause,
Holy
pause,
shit.
pause before we get into dentistry because that will get me on a tangent because I have worked in dentistry and I have plenty of rants to go with that. And I know you do too as a parent. But let's go into
Yes.
some of the other aspects of parenting teens before we go into dentistry because it's a hot button topic for all of us. So we don't want our blood pressure going through the roof
so
off
okay.
the jump.
All right. I will dial it back a little bit. So what I do for my kids, this goes from Gremlin 3 and up because Gremlin 4 is only 10, but he's getting to that stage where
Mhm.
when it comes to a decision that involves my child, depending on what the decision is, obviously, because there are some cases where you as a parent have to make a command decision, and that's the end of it. But I do try to build up that decision making skill and that self sufficiency skill by having them included in the process. For example, a non hot topic dentistry conversation, Gremlin 3 has braces. And um, she ran into an issue where her gums got really inflamed. And so
It's common.
they said we can there's a couple of options. They could take off the brackets and basically pause her treatment with the orthodontia, and they would put her in a retainer because her teeth are already shifted. It's just it's her slight overbite that they're trying to correct at this point in time. So they said we could pause the braces, remove the brackets, and just have you in a retainer to keep your teeth from shifting back. We could do a modified retainer that still works on retraining your bite. Um, and I and I or she could go back and redo the brackets at a later time to further focus on her bite. And I before her visit where we had a follow up to check on her gums and kind of see what the plan was going to be, I went over the options with her and I gave her a chance to give input on what was going to be happening with her, because ultimately for not not always, there are sometimes there is medical necessity to having orthodontic treatment.
Right.
But if it's just straightening your teeth and correcting an overbite, um and this is from the orthodontist herself, for the most part, it's more cosmetic than anything in a lot of cases. Not every case. Again, this is not generalized speaking. I am not a medical doctor. This is just what my orthodontist told us, is that it's more cosmetic than anything. And I made sure that Gremlin 3, um that we were asking questions and saying, hey, okay, so the teeth are shifted back. If we just have the overbite to deal with, what are the medical effects? What are the adverse effects of having an untreated overbite? And the orthodontist was like, honestly, with her overbite, with the way it is, it's very minor. It's not significant. There wouldn't be a medical impact to her dental health overall, number one. Number two, even if she were to resume the orthodontic treatment with the brackets, the bite adjustment, there's no guarantee that it would fully correct her bite. So with those details, with that added information, Gremlin 3 was very good about and very receptive about taking it all in, she asked questions, and we showed her images of the retainers because she didn't know what the hell we were talking about. And she made the choice. I let her make the decision there. Now the flip side of that Rain didn't want me to get into is Gremlin 2 needed to get some cavities filled. She decided that she was not going to allow the dentist to fill her cavities and flat out refused to allow that treatment to take place. That is not an
I tried to
option.
bite him.
Yeah, that she threatened to bite the dentist. And getting a cavity filled, you don't have a choice. You don't have an option. And I was livid. I was livid. And we had to
You
go
heard it.
back for another 6-month follow-up just recently. And I told Gremlin 2, I said, you're going to need those cavities filled, and you're going to get them filled. And you better hope and pray that it hasn't developed to the point that you need a root canal, because I'm not paying for a damn root canal. What's going to happen is the tooth is going to continue to rot. Your breath is going to smell funkalicious, and you're going to have the tooth pulled. That's what's going to fucking happen. I'll pay to have the tooth pulled. So you'll be missing teeth, and you can be toothless the fucking dragon going forward. And she was like, I was like, do you understand me? She goes, yes, ma'am. So we went to the dentist, and she had 8 cavities, and they were only able to fill the ones on the top because the ones on the bottom required sedation, and we weren't prepared to do that at that point in time. And 2 of the cavities that she previously needed to have filled now require root canals. And the girl at my dentist office thinks I'm fucking hilarious. Thank God, because any 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 stuck up bitch would have been like, I'm calling CPS on you, because I was like, I'm not paying for root canals, because they wanted $3,000 for the root canal.
Yeah, they're
I was like,
they're
I'm not.
spendy as fuck.
I was like, I'm not. I was like, no. I was like, can you give me a price quote for what it is to have the teeth extracted? Tell me which teeth they are, because I'm not completely heartless. I'm not going to have her have these 2 teeth get pulled because they need cavity, because they need root canals. But I was like, tell me what teeth
So
they are,
so Harley
and
is a bit
we're
aesthetically
going to get them pulled.
focused at times. So
Like,
when
with
I
your
started laughing, a second ago while she was in the midst of her story, for those of you who are not watching us on YouTube, Apprentice One came up and gave Raven, I keep switching our names, gave Raven a kiss on the head to say hi and scared the crap out of her.
yeah, because
It was great.
I was not looking at the recording, so I didn't see it at all. And like, these headphones are
He's coming back.
large and totally snuck up on me. See, now I'm looking at the recording and I can see him in the background. Hi, kid.
Hey, Apprentice One. But yeah, no, I think it's important to build those self decision making skills for your kids, because
Oh,
as
bro,
soon as literally as soon as your kid turns 18, society expects them to just
to do all the
do it,
decisions,
to just do
and
it.
it's
And
like,
and
as a parent, that's scary as fuck because you know that they're not mature enough for it.
yeah, and so I don't want my kids to feel completely inept at making
Right?
decisions for themselves.
And I don't want to set them up for complete failure. I mean, they're going to have to fail at some things because that's
Oh, look, there's Dar too.
unfortunately a really good teacher.
Yeah. Hi, Dar.
Okay, so the dentistry thing is part of it, but when I take my kids to the doctor, and Witchkin 1, I've only been in her life since she was like 12. So whenever I would take her to the doctor, which didn't happen much until later on down the road, I had her fill the stuff out. I had her fill the intake paperwork out. One, I don't know the full family history because I don't know the history on her um, spawn point side. I'm going to take Witchkins 2's friend's terminology there. Um, and
For those who missed it, that was spawn point. Ha 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 ha.
so, and she still was like, well, what? How do I do this? I'm like, at some point you're gonna need to do this yourself. Why not start doing it now when I can be here to help you, as opposed to you needing to call me or another parent to go to the doctor. And it's like Witchkin too at this point, because I had her start doing it at, at about 12, but I was always taking her to the doctor. So I had her start doing it that way. One, she knows the medical history. Two, she knows what the hell to do. And it's not where I'm sitting there going, oh my God, no, please let me cuddle you some more. Like the only times that I've done the intake paperwork for her is when she broke her arm, and she has broken her arm 4 times.
We've talked about
One
that
arm
Yeah.
was
before.
3.
We've taled
One
about it
arm was
before.
3 times, and then the other one
An
was
accident-prone
her other
child.
wrist. But no, I make them, I include them. They have to be part of the conversation when it comes to things that are going to affect them. Even stuff in the house. We need to get back in the habit of it at this house, but we try to do a family meeting. It's like, hey, are there any issues? Okay, cool. Why aren't you doing your shit?
Yeah,
Get your crap done.
and
Pull your head out of your ass.
yeah, we also to further try to prepare our kids for being accountable to themselves. Really, we set up bank accounts for them that, and fortunately they're they're old enough that they can actually have debit card access. And so of course myself and Joker are co-owners on the account because you have to have somebody over the age of 18 on a banking account. But the primary user listed with the bank is that particular gremlin. And so they have to be mindful of how much money they have. They have to be mindful of how regularly they're getting money, if at all. They have to be mindful of what they're spending it on and how they're spending it. And if they're gonna, Gremlin 3 takes after me, she'll be like, I really want Baskin Robbins, and I'll be like, I don't want to pay for a $6 milkshake right now. And she'll be like, how much money do I have in my account? I'll take care of it.
And that is true. We were going to Baskin Robbins every day when she lived with us. No, so another thing that we talked in a previous episode about, when we were talking about picky eaters, we talked about Witchkin 2's eating disorder, which this eating disorder is seriously, what the fuck? Um, but she gets in her head about it, which then, of course, makes the eating disorder worse. But one of the things that I make sure to do, it's like, you have to be part of the conversation, because I'm not always going to be here to be like, hey, you're not eating right. Fix it. Stop eating, crackers that is essentially air.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, you need to help with planned food. You are in ROTC. You are in high school. You have a job that is pretty labor intensive, and you have a lot of shit going on. You need to eat. You need to fuel your body. Help me come up with the fucking menu, because you don't like freaking scrambled eggs or fried eggs. Well, you'll eat fried eggs on occasion, but you don't like scrambled eggs anymore, which used to be her favorite thing I ever made. You don't like lunch meat anymore. She's never liked peanut butter.
Yeah, my kids
You
don't
know,
like peanut butter either, and I don't understand it. Like, peanut butter is so fucking good. What
Wait,
the
it is,
hell?
real
well,
quick,
that means more for me.
real quick. I just I just realized something, and I want to show our viewers on YouTube real quick.
Oh God, what did you do?
Do not fear. I am wearing shorts. They're just pajama shorts. I will try to pull them down as I stand up, so you're not given an inadvertent crotch shot. But here we go. Hold on.
Natural born sin. Ah! For those of you who did not know, she got to go to the fucking In This Moment concert, and I am severely jealous. Although, happy belated birthday, Harley, you dumb bitch.
Yes.
Yes, when we're recording this on August 18th. This will probably not drop for at least a week and a half after. But my birthday just passed, and Joker and I went and saw a concert with In This Moment. It was a co-headline concert with In This Moment and Ice Nine Kills. Don't ask me about them, never heard of them. And quite
Ice Nine
frankly,
Kills is badass.
well, we skipped that part of the show because
Well, you're an idiot.
we had a 5-hour drive. So once In This Moment finished
So,
their set, we tried to stay for a little bit of the Ice Nine Kills, but we were also old and tired, so we just headed home. And we were hungry, and we didn't want to pay for shitty food. But we had awesome seats. Maybe we can share some pictures and videos on Patreon so that you can see, because I was pleasantly surprised with, number one, our seats, and number two, I was pleasantly surprised with how well the phone video came out, because when you're in a concert,
Yeah.
we had our seats were floor seating, and we were literally, there was like a gate set up in front of us, and on the other side of the gate was the pit. So we had spectacular seats,
Damn.
but when you're
Nice.
that low, you're getting slammed by all the sound, right? But the sound quality on my videos was spectacular. But yeah, natural born sinner, and oh my God. So I went to see In This Moment, and I am a happy, happy girl. And that's actually going to relate to our next topic. So stay tuned to come back to that. But yeah, I just wanted to
next
show off.
episode.
Yeah, next
I
episode.
think somebody's happy pill is.
I just wanted to show off the concert merch.
I think someone's happy pill is in full effect.
Oh, 100%.
So, parenting teens is
Dude.
it is walking through a minefield
Why
because
were we
you
not
don't know,
warned how dramatic they get? I mean, look,
because we lived
hold
it.
on. Yeah, but
And you were dramatic, and you're not in your teens.
I'm not that dramatic. But
Oh, kiss my ass.
we
I
remember
am.
being teens, but we don't remember that we were that, full of drama and bullshit.
You don't understand. I have called my mother repeatedly over the course of my child's life and apologized.
Oh yeah, I mean that too. But like, I was not prepared for all of the drama with having a boy. Holy shit! Nobody tells you that boy teenagers are just so fucking full of drama. Everybody warns you about girls. Oh my god, they're so dramatic. Oh my god, they're blah 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 blah. They don't warn you
Why
about
would
boys.
Listen,
why don't people so hold on. This may be just me and how I view things. If girls are going to be dramatic, why the hell wouldn't boys be dramatic? They're going through shit too. They're just told to internalize it by society.
So all
Well,
right.
not my boy,
So
because he's
I
got
said
a mom that cares
society.
about him.
I'm gonna let Raven finish her drink because I don't want her to choke and die. I was not prepared for having to have a safe word for my male teenager son for, if mom knocks on the door, don't come in. I was not prepared for that. I was like jokingly prepared for like the crusty tube socks.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheets. I was like kind of mentally prepared for that. I was like, yeah, that's just amped up in movies to make it seem more dramatic. Whatever.
No, it's really not.
But I was Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, so I
And
know Harley and Rain have heard this story before, but so my son and I have always had not a real close relationship, but I've worked really hard to foster communication and to make sure that he can talk to me about anything. So there came a point when he asked me to start putting lotion and Kleenex on the grocery order, and I was like, oh, we've come to that point. Okay, fine. So at that point, I taught him how to
Well,
use the washing machine so that I was not touching any of that. And then one
so
day,
so not just that. She had to start putting it on the grocery order because he was using her Bath and Body
I'm
Works
getting there,
stuff.
shut up. So one day I'm walking down the hallway and I'm like, why does that smell like my lotion? Why does that smell like my Cashmere Glow lotion? I go back in my room. It's not on top of my dresser. Knock on somebody's door. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Kid, do you have my lotion in there? Yeah. Can I come in? No, no, no. Okay. Sweetheart, if you want this activity to stay between you and your bedroom walls, maybe don't use Mama's scented lotion. I will buy you unscented. Jesus Christ.
no,
Cashmere Glow is very feminine smelling too.
I was, I, 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 yeah, I wasn't prepared.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, people, people, people got mad jokes about boys whacking it anytime they get a chance to.
Oh, they're not jokes.
But
They're not
hold,
jokes.
hold on.
No, I know,
Hold,
I know I know where Harley's going. I know where Harley's going with this.
they don't prepare you for the girls partaking in self-exploration as well. And
No, they don't.
there have been several electric, non-personal vibrating devices that have gone missing. And so we were at the store. I'm not even going to identify the gremlin by the number.
In question.
I bought a new electric toothbrush for said gremlin.
Oh boy.
And I said, do not let this end up in your room. And they said, yes, ma'am. And I said, if you need a personal device for personal use, let me know and I will obtain something for you. And
Uh-huh.
immediately, yes, please. All right.
Yeah, I had the same reaction. I was like, whoa, okay, all right. I did
So,
not realize that we were at that point.
so off we go. Of course, we were at Walmart. Of course, we were at Walmart. So off we go to the family planning section. And because that's where they not only have the contraceptions, they also have the goodies and the lubes. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and they have it in a lock case. So I'm standing there. Oh, and by the way, I was not just with one gremlin during the
Of
shopping
course not.
venture. So I told the other
Of course not.
gremlins to go look at the toy section or something. The
Well,
kids
Huh?
they were
toy section, the kids toy section. And I was like,
While you're standing there
I'll come.
waiting for an employee to come unlock the
No,
personal devices
I'm
case
standing
in
there.
front of your child.
I'm standing there with the gremlin in question, and there are passersby,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going, look at the top row. Don't point. Just look with your eyes. But you see the one that has this color box and it's shaped like this? Yeah. What do you think about that one? No. All right. What about one two over from it? Oh, the one yeah, that one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then and then the question, before we got to the toy selection, I had to ask, when you are partaking in personal time, are you doing external massaging, or and this motherfucker
What
held
is
up
it that we're exploring
this
here?
motherfucker held up their hand and wiggled their fingers, and I was like, okay, I know what we need. So we made the selection, and I was like, all right. I pushed the little help button. I was like, now skedaddle, because I don't need somebody thinking that I'm like,
I
this
do not need a judgy bitch up in this
is
place.
hella awkward. So the customer service lady comes over, an older lady, God bless her, because I don't think she knows what these things are for.
You would be surprised,
She was
man.
she was a good Southern Christian woman, all right.
That doesn't mean shit.
That means that
That
she's
does
probably got a
not mean
drawer
shit.
full,
Anyway,
and she
so
knows where the good magazines are.
I got the toy, and then I was also a responsible parent, and I got toy lubricant.
Did you get toy cleaner?
It came with toy cleaner.
Okay.
And it's like when you go to buy something from the electronics section at Walmart, you can't check out at the front. No.
Gotta
That
check out right
we
there.
can take it to the front for you, and you can request it when you go to check out. So, hey, can I get my vibrator and lube, please? Or I can go to the pharmacy section and check out there. So I'm in line at the pharmacy, and there's several people, and I finally get up to check out, and the person behind the register is like, they think I'm there for a pharmacy prescription, and I'm like, no, the representative
Nope.
brought up some personal items. Wink, wink. She's like, oh, she goes and grabs it and whatever. Yeah, so that was interesting. And I also told said gremlin, I was like, I'm gonna make sure that you have a proper storage place for this, like a bag or something. And we got home, and the gremlin was like, don't worry, it comes to the bag, it comes to the charger, and it has the cleaner or whatever. But it also has cleaning instructions that you just rinse with warm water and soap. And I was like, we're going to use plain old dial soap, because that's what I use on my tattoos, and I'm going to trust it for my woo-boos. And we're done.
So,
Yeah, I had
to go ahead.
one of the apprentices requested something similar. But my spawn are not necessarily outdoor kids, so they don't do a whole lot of in-person shopping. They do a lot of online shopping. So I got spared the indignity that Harley had to suffer, because we had a brief conversation of, here's how to be safe with it, here's how to clean it, here's, that what's in porn is not real, and make sure you're ordering from a site that's not going to yank all of your information, and I'll transfer some money to your account and you can do the ordering. Mama does not need to know what the hell you're ordering. Just please tell me you're not ordering from Bad Dragon. And they went, oh God,
that
Mom.
leads into my story.
No. They went, oh God, Mom, of course not. And I'm like, oh shit, you know what that is?
So, yes, raising teens, you do have to talk about sex.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't,
they're gonna fuck
they're
anyway.
gonna be Harley.
They're gonna fuck anyway, and you gotta teach them how to talk to you and how to be safe and how to, like, all the shit.
As open as we are on this podcast, I am still very awkward and weird when I go to a sex shop.
I wasn't talking at all.
You made a comment about me. I was just responding. Go ahead.
Okay. So we've discussed how Captain and I are with our girls, and we are very open and, magical chess cat. When Witchkin 2 did not want to say anything other than breasts. And now she just says tits. But she, so, and we told both of them. And this is a joint effort, but I also have those conversations with my kids. I'm like, dude, if you need something for that, cool, great, grand, wonderful. Talk to me and let's see what we could do. So I don't remember how we were getting into one of those kind of conversations. I think we were talking about a boyfriend or something, and it was the three of us. I'm not saying which Witchkin it was. And because we don't do anything half-assed in this house, it's either all or nothing. Captain, oh, Captain, the innocent sailor that he is, told said Witchkin to pull out their phone and go to baddragon.com.
Oh, God.
And then proceed. and she's like, oh, what the?
Oh, God.
And it was
I
great.
have never been to this website, so I am actually.
Oh my God, we're corrupting you some more?
Whoa.
Holy shit. Is that possible? But she does get uncomfortable at sex shops still.
Oh, that's
Embarrassed
hilarious.
with her.
So next time we go to Harley's City,
Oh, yeah, there's one that we need to go to.
Yes, because I would love to look for some more toys, but I also want to torture her because it's just fun.
It is. It really is. So I'm gonna laugh if I see her go add to cart and purchase. That would be funny.
Oh no, I just want to see her face. I'm not sure if that's shock intrigue or shock horror.
This is too much for me. Woo!
Now you see why I was
small ones.
concerned that my
smaller
child
ones.
knew what Bad Dragon was.
And then they also have, sizes for the size queens. It's okay. There's a shop on TikTok, or a seller on TikTok, and they make those toys that are definitely made from, medical grade silicone or everything else, but they're shaped like art, like, a smoking cauldron. No, I do not have that one.
I don't understand the appeal of the pointy tentacle.
Hentai.
Yeah, but that's like, are you trying to pierce your cervix? What are you doing?
Hentai. Literally. That's where the tentacle thing comes from. Cthulhu fantasies are real. There's unfortunately a lot of fan fiction on that.
Ah, that's like a baby size. I need to.
Okay,
I'm closing that tab. I'm closing that tab. No.
now
no.
Harley.
Did you come across the horsecock?
Yeah,
I don't think.
yeah. I
Okay,
did.
now imagine my shock at realizing that my youngest knew what that website was.
And I am the corrupting parent that we told her was. But no, it's one of those things that, like, this is normal. You're old enough now. If you're gonna have sex, cool. Ish.
So
One, be safe. Let me know what's going on because I need to make sure you are safe. Not because I want to know the details, because I really fucking don't.
really
You're still my
fucking
kid.
don't.
Oh
Do
no,
not want the details.
I have told. So, Witchkin one. Sorry, apologies. Gremlin 1 is older and he's a boy. So the conversation is obviously a little bit different than it would be with a female. Have
Yes and no.
protection on you, wear protection, don't FAFO. Okay? All right. But for my daughters, I'm like, it's a different conversation, and I have set it up for my daughters that just because they come to me and ask to go on birth control does not automatically mean that they are being active, because I have let them know that birth control has many other added benefits. I have
Yes.
also made it abundantly clear that uh, I also made it abundantly clear that birth control will not be the only contraception that is used, because there
Oh God,
are
no.
skin to skin things that can be, and I had to get a little graphic, and I was like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, if it's skin to skin contact, if it's internal skin, it's probably going to be more uncomfortable for you. And they're like, yeah, that's true. I was like, okay. So birth control pills are
So,
a conversation. And I also,
and
sorry, Rain, I also made sure to say that, just so I am very point blank with my kids, because I don't want to leave any room for interpretation with certain things. So this is one of those things, I don't want to leave any room for interpretation. Just because I am putting you on birth control, that is not a green light to go fuck every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you come across. It is
Or every hairy dick.
it is it is simply for your protection and to help you. But at the end of the day, who you choose to share that part of yourself with, you have to be the one to have the respect to make the decision of whether or not that person is worthy of your time and of those intimate
that
areas.
access.
Yeah.
And
No, and that's something that I've made it abundantly clear. It's like I was a teenager once. I'm not stupid. Dad was a teenager once. He really not stupid because let's face it, both of us are kind of reformed hoes. Hose, horse, whatever. And I did make a house husband out of one. Anyway, um, but we have the conversations, and it's like, do not do anything until you are ready. Don't. Your friends are out fucking. Great, grand, wonderful for them. You decide. No one is allowed to pressure you into this.
Yeah.
And I promise you, someone decides that they want to try to pressure you into it, come to us. Because, yeah, I may not be the full on mama bear, as Raven has pointed out to me before, but fuck with my kids. And we did have a situation that was very similar to that. And that kid got sent to alternative and had his whole schedule rearranged. So there was no interaction
Oh,
because he decided. And Harley almost came up to
yeah,
scare the crap.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. So I we've established I'm petty.
no,
AF.
you're not.
I wear
No,
my
you're not.
petty crown with pride. Please,
Now I know what a present is.
please try it. I pity the poor, unfortunate soul that tries to pressure anybody
Fortunate souls
in
in
my
pain.
circle to do something beyond what their comfort is. I dare you, because the hellfire that will come down and burn you to your core and leave generations of your family scorned and wondering what evil person you pissed off in a past life. You will not have words to measure the pain and suffering that you will go through. Number one. Number two, in case you've
Uh,
forgotten the
let's
story,
let's not for,
Gremlin
let's not
3
forget.
Gremlin 3 grabbed a gooey bag and squeezed and pulled and said, "Give me my toy." So please, please try it. And that's just one example. Gremlin
So
Gremlin
let's
2
not forget.
Gremlin
Let's not
2 got
forget.
into Gremlin 2 got into an argument with somebody in daycare about who was going to rule the world. This kid said that Gremlin 2 was too mean and could never rule the world. Gremlin 2's response was to punch them in the chest.
So
Oh my hell.
That's just the pettiness that is Harley. Now, Captain was raised around pretty much nothing but women. He's him and Harley are right neck and neck with petty. He doesn't always verbalize it to everybody on how petty he can be, but oh god, you get Harley and him in a united front, you fucked. You beyond fucked.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't envy you
when
for being in
that
that position.
when that situation happened with the little hoodlum that was causing mayhem for one of the Witchkins, Captain and I did put our heads together, and rest assured, we had a plan. We had a very, very, very good plan in place. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, no laws would be broken. Nothing illegal would happen, but somebody would need a diaper.
Yeah,
And
so
no, it
that's
wouldn't be
just
Captain
that's
because
just
he's old. Ha!
he's not that old.
No, he's not.
Um, Still older than you, but not that old. Um, no, so there's, no matter what is going on with your teen, try to have the open conversation. Try to have, I mean, make the freaking jokes. My kids are fucking savages, as we've discussed many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
Try to make them feel uncomfortable. Try to do that. And if you succeed in it and it comes about, once we build them back up because that's what we're here for, you get knocked down, you got people in your corner. You don't deserve that. You're better. You are better than that. You deserve more than that. Show them who the fuck you are. And that's something that's needed for teens. That's something that's needed for people in general. Because I don't know about all of our listeners, but I've had some shitty ass relationships that tore me the fuck down. And
Mm-hmm.
Harley can attest to this because she was there for at least one of them.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think Raven touched on it before when she was talking about making really establishing and encouraging and nurturing open communication when she was talking about Apprentice One. I think that honestly is the key to successful parenting in general
I kind of want.
is having that open and honest communication, because your child at the end of the day, your home and therefore the people in your home should all work to create a safe space for your child to be who they are, whether
Mm-hmm.
that is a toddler learning to walk, uh, an elementary kid learning to go to school by
Ride a bike.
themselves for the first time, ride a bike, or whether that's a
Or your
teenager
teen going through heartbreak.
going through heartbreak.
Oh god, that was
Yeah,
such a pain in the
I
ass.
think that I think that having that open and honest communication and making sure that you are making sure that their home is a safe place for them to be 100% unequivocally and unapologetically themselves, I think that is super crucial. And having that open and honest communication helps to establish that, because think about it, if your child comes home and they feel like they have to censor what they say in their home is no longer their safe place. They can't
Not only
be
that,
unapologetically
So,
themselves.
but they won't keep coming back.
they won't. Um, so when we say have the open and honest conversation, we mean be open and honest
Yeah.
conversations. There's not stuff that they don't need to know everything
No.
that's going on at all, because they're not your friend, they're your kid. And you can be cool, you can be the cool mom, but when it's time to be mom or dad,
You got to be the parent.
you put the fucking foot down. And I'm going to have I'm going to request, not have. I'm going to request that Harley reiterate something that she said to me the other day in regards to parenting.
The
Me,
conversation that I
Mhm.
had when we
That you
were
told me
driving.
not to start crying.
Okay. So I've had a couple of moments like this with Rain, and I think Raven and I have had maybe one or two moments like this, but it just I'm I'm trying to make sure that we joke that um I think we've joked about before when Captain Set calls me a good girl that I kind of giggle and do this weird thing. Um, but we
It's
actually
true, she
we
does.
actually broke it down on my last visit, and I was like, well, I mean, the truth of it is, how often do you hear "good job" as a
Yeah.
person? No, and no matter who you are or what you do or what your walk in life is, how often does somebody sit there and say "good job"? So when I see something that somebody is doing that they're doing a good job, I try to make sure that I point it out. And um, Rain and I were talking. I was driving home, and she was talking about having a conversation. I think it was with Witchkin too, um, but we were talking about maintaining that open communication. And I was like, I know that you know you struggle, you parents struggle, and it's human nature to second guess yourself and be like, am I making the right choice? Did I handle the situation correctly? But I told Rain, I was like, for what it for what it matters, I think that you are doing a phenomenal job with your kids. I think that you are doing a phenomenal job having that discussion with your kids, having those hard conversations with your kids, and maintaining that open communication. And there are people who will see things from the outside and make a snap judgment, and they're I want to say they're almost judging a book by its cover, but they're not. They're seeing what they want to see, and they're making a decision, and they're passing judgment without knowing all the facts, but they're content with that. They're never going to see more than what they want to see. You can't live your life trying to get everybody's approval. You just have to live your life doing the best that you can. And so I told Rain, I was like, for me, your mom goals. I was like, the relationship and the dynamic that you have with your kids is what I strive to have with my kids. I strive to make sure that all of my kids know, no matter what it is, big or small, good or bad, you can come to me. And, if you just want to vent your frustrations, I'll listen. If you want input on possible solutions, I'll give my advice. If you want to celebrate making scrambled eggs by yourself for the first time, I want to be there to celebrate those things with you. And um, so I made sure that I told Rain, and this isn't the first time. The first time I made her cry, which is why I told her not to cry when I told her this the other day. I was like, don't cry, but you're doing a good job. And I remember now why it came up, because one of one of the Witchkin's friends' parents made a comment that they felt like Rain allowed her Witchkin to just do whatever she wanted and didn't have any rules. And I was like, first of all, that's bullshit. Second of
Mm-hmm.
all, that's where I said this person is making a snap decision based off of what they think they see, but that's all that they're ever going to see until they decide to open their eyes and see the full picture and actually see everything that's done and take the time to get to know the facts. They're never going to see anything different. So you can't change their opinion. But it doesn't matter what their opinion is, because they don't know what they're talking about. Number one. Number two, you are rocking out with your cock out at being a mom. Keep going.
Yep. And at the end of the day, because we are coming close to time, at the end of the day, raising teenagers is a minefield because you never know what type of emotional state they're going to be in, whether it be boy or girl. And yeah, I can't say I'm blessed. I have the privilege of only having females. However, my two co-hosts, Heck says hi. My two co-hosts have both, and emotions are high for all kids, and it doesn't make it any less scary. It doesn't make it any
No.
less anything. You have to go through you have to help them through the heartaches, and as much as we want to take that pain, we can't take it. They have to go through it. We can tell them things from our perspective and things that we have learned, but ultimately they have to make their own mistakes. But have them make their own mistakes, not your mistakes, and have them come to you so they can talk about those life lessons.
So
And
seriously,
it's great.
raising teenagers is a minefield and a mindfuck. It's amazing and scary and infuriating all at the same time. Um, please keep in mind that your teenagers are, even if you don't remember what you were like as a teenager, if you've forgotten being a teenager and how frustrating that was for you to experience, okay, remember that your teen, so when puberty starts, their amygdala, which controls emotional responses, that piece of their brain starts to grow, and that finishes growing around the time that they hit 18 or 19. And around 18 or 19 is when their prefrontal cortex starts to grow to its adult size. And the prefrontal cortex is what controls logic and decision making. So that doesn't finish growing to its adult size until they're around 25, 26. So when your teen is having these big feelings, it's because they literally have a physiological reason for it, because the emotional response part of their brain is growing to its adult size. So try to have some patience with them, talk to them, encourage open and honest conversation. And you cannot do that if you are not being authentic with them. If you're trying to put yourself up on this pedestal of, I'm the parent and I know best and I know everything, they're going to see right through that, and they're not going to want to talk to you because they're not going to have safety and trust with you. Be yourself, admit to your mistakes, admit to things that you don't know, saying, I don't know what the answer to that is, but let's go look it up together. It's a perfectly logical response. Your kids will appreciate that. Don't be the adults in their lives that you hated when you were a teenager. Keep in mind that your kids they're going to do what they want. There's only so much you can do to control them, and you shouldn't be trying to control them anyway. You should be trying to teach them and guide them. So make sure they know what your values are. Make sure they know what your expectations are, and keep having those conversations.
Try to remember, life does not come with a manual. Because we've lived through this, because we know these things, that doesn't mean they automatically know. Some of the stuff they're going through for the first time, they're trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's intimidating. It's scary. It's life is a bitch, and it starts young, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So no, just try to keep in mind, give yourself grace. Two, give your kids some grace.
Yeah.
As much as they piss us off, wouldn't change being a mom for anything.
Yeah.
And for the love of God, make sure you show them that you love them. Don't just tell them, show them. They need it. They need to know it.
Yeah.
Shopping. Okay, I'm saying this, and this is not directed at Harley. My co-hosts know who this is. Buying, gift giving, and everything else is great. But if that is the only way that you are spending time or showing affection, and that's your only way of showing affection, take a look at what's really going on with you, because that's not healthy. And
Yeah.
it makes them materialistic and entitled.
Yeah. No.
Mm-hmm.
My gift giving, although it is, I'd say it is probably my primary, and quite honestly, it's my most comfortable and easiest form of love language. But I do try to make sure that I find time to express my feelings in other ways, because just because I express love that way doesn't mean others receive love that way. And so you have to learn these things. You have to know your kids, and that takes time and effort. And they're people too. They're individuals. Just because I would have never done this when I was your age. That's fan freaking tastic. Number one, this isn't your day and age. Number two, you're talking about a completely separate individual, a completely separate, unique individual, one of a kind. Of course, they're not going to be exactly like you. Will they?
Mm-mm.
Will they maybe have some similarities because of nature versus nurture? Absolutely. But are they going to be a mirror image and
Oh
just a
dear God, I hope
replica?
not.
No, absolutely not.
That's
Um,
boring.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
so I want to tell a story that kind of underscores all of these points, and I know it's going to take us a couple minutes over, but I promise I won't be super long.
No, you're good.
So,
And then I will go ahead. I'll close this out afterwards.
okay, Harley talked about gift giving and spending time. Rain talked about don't make gift giving the only thing that you do with them. We've talked about showing them love and talking to them and listening to them and spending time with them, right? So a couple weekends ago, Harley was here for the weekend, which was fantastic because we haven't seen her in person in a while. And she wanted to take us to her favorite store because she wanted to show us what she loved about it. It wasn't just that she wanted to buy things for us. She wanted to show us what she loved about it. And she wanted us to really see that. And we had Witchkin 1 with us. And Witchkin 1 was watching her face as she tried things on, and we told her how great she looked in them and how happy she looked and how confident she looked. It wasn't just about, oh girl, you look so hot. It was like, sweetheart, look at yourself in this. Look at the way that you're holding yourself, the way that you're standing, watching her face while we were not intentionally hyping her up. We were just being ourselves, but it was
I wasn't
amazing.
actually there for
I
it. I was wiggling my ass into jeans in another dressing room.
I really enjoyed spending that time with her and watching her do all that and watching Harley's face as she saw how much we were enjoying her favorite store. So please take time to spend that time with your kids and the kids in your life. It's needed.
Yeah.
And to show that I am doing kind of a good job at this whole mom game, um, Witchkin 1 also surprised the fuck out of us at brunch that day.
She did. She did.
So my financial situation has been determined that I was looking for a job. I have one, but I'm still looking for other reasons that I won't get into here. But so Harley and Raven took me and my Witchkins to brunch because Witchkin 2 had to go to work. So the check comes, the two co-hosts that spoil me because I got sugar mamas, um, pull out their cards, and then here's Witchkin 2 or Witchkin 1 handing over her card to pay for a third of the ticket. And it completely floored all of us because that was something that we were not expecting at all. And it made me I was very, very prideful that day.
Yeah. It
I
was.
didn't want to accept it, but the look on her face, that's why I went ahead and let her help
Yeah.
out.
And I wasn't not too. I appreciated the gesture, but I
Hmm.
wanted to make sure that it was an informed decision. So I was like, I was actually sitting next to her, and I said, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Yeah." And I pulled the check over and I showed her. I said, "So this is the total. So one third of that is going to be about this much. Are you comfortable with that?" And then we got a tip. She's like, "Yeah, that's good. That's fine." I was like, "Okay, cool." Handed the well, actually walked the check over to the waitress because she was running around like a chicken with her head cut off. And I was like, "Can you split this
Oh,
three
that
ways?
poor
I gotta
thing.
go. Bye." But
Because Harley then took Witchkin 2 to work.
yeah, and I took the time to have a little heart-to-heart conversation with Witchkin 2 while I was driving her to work. And, you know, same thing. I just let her know that I was proud of everything that she was doing, and I was thankful for the role that she was taking in my kids' lives, because we're all very close. And then when we were shopping with Witchkin 1, I I I surprised myself. So Witchkin 1 was holding up a shirt, and it's too convoluted to get into, but I was like double checking how she was gonna wear it. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna wear it like this?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yes, queen!" And I jumped up and I gave her a hug. She started dying laughing, and then I let go and I was like, "I gotta get out of here." I just yes, queen. We gotta leave.
Not only that, but Harley is not a touchy-feely person
No, I'm not.
at all.
But I
So
gave her a hug, and I afterwards I was like, I double checked with Rain. I was like, Witchkin 1 was okay, right? I didn't make her uncomfortable when I did that, because I would, I was just it was just fun and spur of the moment. But anyway, yeah, good times. So we have talked your ear off. We are a little bit over what we normally do, but I mean, it's Chaos Connections. We're gonna run the gambit. We're gonna run under. We're gonna run over. We're gonna maybe ooh, shiny over here, and ooh, what's that sound over there? And but thank you so much for joining us today, for listening, or if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to everybody for your continued support and feedback. For those of you who maybe haven't checked out our Patreon, there is a little segment on there called Chaos Controversial, and we are going to delve a little bit deeper into some topics related to parenting teens on that. They are kind of some hot button issues. So if that is something that interests you, if you want to hear maybe some different perspectives, or just maybe hear some perspectives, some additional perspectives in general, feel free to hop on over, join us, check it out. And as always, you can reach us at Chaos Connections on your favorite social media app, or head over to our website, mocmediatx.com, to leave any comments or join our forums, or I think you can comment on just about any platform that we're streaming on. So check it out. Chat with us. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, y'all. Later.